So yeah, what we wanted to talk about now is some AI initiatives that we've essentially speculated on and have made good progress in terms of developing some proof of concepts. So for those that recall Edalexpo last year, we did flag that we would be looking at some of these particular areas. Part of some client visits and engagements that we did last year was to learn a little bit more about the appetite for AI. And obviously, what we discussed perhaps this time last year has changed very much in August 2026. So I think everybody has now an appetite and is exploring this. But one of the things we did learn is, I think it's fair to say the majority of our clients are using the Microsoft stack when it comes to AI, in terms of Copilot. And so that's really where we're looking to speculate on some ideas. Now, a couple of things to note. Kind of further to being the guardians of the galaxy, we have made the decision moving forward that the development team is primarily going to be focused on those foundational elements around security, around the need to transition the admin console into the web as part of a longer term project. And so what we're doing here from an AI perspective is looking to embrace what we've always talked about with Aquella, that its biggest strength is its ability to be configured and customized. And so these initiatives are being very much led by our professional services side of the team. And the ideas that Cath will talk through have primarily been the brainchild of Nelson Cheng. For those that aren't aware, Nelson's been off for the last few weeks, but he is back on Monday. But Cath has kindly volunteered to talk through these initiatives and to demo, ably supported by Perez, who is also on the call. So again, we're very excited by these initiatives. We're going to talk through 3 of them, but we do have 3 further initiatives that we'll be exploring in the next few months as well, and we'll make clients aware of when they're ready to be deployed. Hopefully you should be interested in investigating further. Over to you, Cath.
Thanks, Al, and I hope that I can do Nelson's wonderful work justice here. So we have 3 solutions at the moment. Solution 1 for Copilot integration. Solution 2 is for deep attachment processing and pulling out the information from your attachments. And the third one is automated metadata generation. So I'll go further into each one as we go along. So the first solution is Microsoft 365 Copilot integration. This uses Microsoft Graph Connector to index openEQUELLA directly into Microsoft Search without needing any sort of browser extensions. And so it brings teaching and learning materials straight into everyday tools like Teams and Outlook, with search quality improving over time as metadata expands. So the important thing to remember about this one is that this uses your current metadata. So anything that is added into the system as you contribute, that is indexed into Graph Connector and then used for searches. And you'll see as I move along that solutions 2 and 3 will enrich the metadata further to make results better. So the second solution is our core architectural engine that processes actual attachment content from files like your PDFs and your Word files, images via OCR, media files, etc. So it syncs deep text and embeddings back into openEQUELLA, so Copilot can answer detailed queries based on like the full body of your documents. And so what it actually does, it explores your attachments and it writes back into openEQUELLA, into the XML, and then Copilot can find that information. I'm going to show you all of this in 1 second. In fact, right now, I'll just nip out of here, and we'll go into an openEQUELLA. So this particular openEQUELLA instance, we've actually set this up, and we've got AI to assist us. We have 2 collections in here that I'm going to use. We have a higher education collection and a vet collection. And so for the higher ed data, we took open to the public courses from the University of Queensland, and we actually used Claude to generate realistic content topics for us. For the vet data, we actually pulled official units of competency information straight from the training.gov.au, and we used AI to generate matching resources. So what I'm going to do now is go to Copilot, and I'm going to query it. So just keeping in mind that that this Copilot is set up to only look at this openEQUELLA instance. I'm not across the configuration of Copilot, but I believe that you can set it to look at specific areas. So it might look at SharePoint and OneDrive and openEQUELLA. This one is specifically just set to this openEQUELLA instance. All right, so say hi. I don't know about you guys, but I'm always very polite when I talk to any AI engine, because one day they might take over the world and they'll remember who was nice to them. Cool. Need to do that. Okay, so I'm going to ask what resources are available for working with people with a disability. So it doesn't just look at basic metadata fields. We've got this set up with the deep text attachment processing. So it's processed all our attachments that we have. So it's scanning the deep text that our back-end pipeline extracted directly from the underlying file attachments. And so it's brought us back information from both the HE and the vet collections. And you can see it gives quite an in-depth answer here. And we have links here to specific, some of these could be resources, and you can move through the different results. They could be the attachments, linked straight to the attachments that download, and some of them are linked straight to our item in openEQUELLA. So you can see it's found this particular item, and it's got an attachment. I'll just open that up so you can see this type of information that it has in here. And then when I go back to my openEQUELLA, sorry, and I'm going to have a look at the actual XML in here. You can see that we actually have an extra block of metadata here. Now, this is where the engine has gone in and looked at the attachment and found the parts of it that are important. It's put it in here as XML, as metadata, and then the Microsoft Graph connector is using that to find the information in Copilot.
And just one of the things I think we particularly like with this deep processing around the option 2 is for institutions that perhaps have collections where they're only requiring minimal metadata because it's a just-in-time collection or whatever it might be. as we can see here, that we are further aiding discovery of content by having this metadata getting attached to the XML. So yeah, you might have quite simplistic metadata that's been contributed by the traditional contribution method approach, but this demonstrates how there's much richer metadata that's still getting tagged behind the scenes to the item for discovery purposes.
Yes, thanks, Hal. Also, under the hood, it's actually two scheduled jobs working together. So the way we have it configured at the moment is that every night at 1 a.m., or every morning at 1 a.m., we push anything that's new or changed since the last run. So it's always fresh within about a day. And then once a week, we do a full resync of everything, which also cleans up anything that's been deleted from openEQUELLA so it doesn't linger in the Copilot search. All right, I'm just going to go back
And
to this.
and just quickly,
Yeah,
whilst you go back to
yeah.
showcase solution 3, so Sam from CSU asked, do you have to have this additional metadata appended for the results to work effectively? I suppose there's a time efficiency aspect. And yeah, as I just alluded to, Sam, yeah, by having it appended, it enhances the discoverability of that item.
Yeah. Okay, and then solution 3 takes the pain out of contributing resources by automatically pre-filling things like titles, descriptions, and any other metadata that you might set up in your templates. You might have keywords, subject codes, any of those extra things. It features a human in the loop design where users simply review and confirm the AI suggestions, which keeps contribution friction low and data quality high, which is the important thing. And again, like that improves the AI search quality as well. So flicking back again to our openEQUELLA. So if I go into contribute, and we've got a couple of AI assisted wizards here. So I'm just going to drag in that one that I downloaded before. I'm going to open that up. And then when I hit next, it's going to process that file and it's pre-filled the name, description, and it's pulled out keywords. And you could have a whole bunch of other things that it's mapped to that it could pull out as well.
Oh my
And
God. Sorry.
I think that's
Sorry.
excitement.
It's
That's great.
I'm
Um,
on mute as well. I'm so sorry.
um, but I think for those that again have been using Aquella for a long period of time, we pre-COVID, as we'll say, we worked on what we called ECS auto tag, which I think we were pretty new to the game actually when we were using or machine learning to do some of this auto tagging. But it wasn't very reliable. It wasn't very accurate. And as we heard from you as clients, particularly for institutions that have product teams responsible for contributing best practice content, it also didn't align with your taxonomies or your terminology, whereas AI has improved quite a lot. So we very much see this solution as a productivity gain because, as you can see, we could pre-populate whatever fields you instruct us to do, and you could delete any of that title or description if you choose to, and to add your own language. But our hope is that the majority of that's accurate. So that's doing a lot of that sort of work for you.
yeah, and adding to that, Al, being able to use your taxonomies, your specialized terminology within your institutions as well.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Just to touch quickly on a few other questions that have come through, and apologies, Lee, I did mean to go back to your SCORM package question. So that was around, does it support the uploading of SCORM content. It's not yet supported, but as I understand it, there's no reason why we couldn't extend what we've done to support it. Liz from CIT, does it only work on contribution? Will it operate over existing content in the repository? So it is set up as a save script essentially. So as Cath demonstrated, when you click next, that's the trigger for that content to be populated within the contribution wizard. Sam's asked, this last one is also using Copilot. Perez, can you clarify that? My understanding is it is.
I think for the AI processing, it uses the AWS Bedrock.
Okay, terrific. But again, part of what we're trying to do with these solutions is, utilize either our stack or your existing stack. But, over time, we know clients are using different AI services, and, because these are being deployed as a consulting engagement, in effect, then, we could absolutely explore looking at other services.
Speaking of which, Al.
Terrific. Yes. So my slides, I'll talk through this. So yeah, just to reiterate some of what I just mentioned then, prerequisites for what we've just shown you in the current iteration is that you are a Microsoft Copilot user. There are elements within that Azure environment are needed. We need access to your openEQUELLA instance so that we can deploy some save scripts to deliver some of the power that we've just showcased. And these are done as a professional services or consulting engagement. Pretty lightweight engagements, mind you. Again, really what we'd look to do so that they can be bespoke for each of our clients. We'd look to engage, understand what tools you utilize, understand your taxonomy structure, your contribution wizard, and what fields in particular you want to populate. So pretty, as I said, pretty limited engagement, and with a fast turnaround as well. So we are excited by this. To reiterate, as I mentioned at the beginning, we see the development team focusing on those foundational elements and innovation being delivered via this particular pathway. So certainly reach out if you do have any questions and would like to explore any of these concepts further. But we're very close for these being ready for use. Once Nelson is back next week, we'll be able to provide some more information around the specific timelines. So again, thank you very much for Cath for stepping up and presenting the ideas that Nelson had come up with. But any other questions, feel free to either come off mute or add to the chat about any of what we've showcased.
And I might just jump in and on the back of Liz's comments. And again, Al, you flagged that these, we've built these specific models, but if there are others such as CIT that want to look at it processing existing content, great. Happy to talk with you and really understand those business rules. So obviously we have to be careful on existing content. So do we want to put that into a workflow so that someone can review that before it potentially overwrites content, or do we want to add additional metadata? So we really, building on the hard work that the entire guardians of the openEQUELLA galaxy have been doing, from the dev team, from the professional services team, wanting to really help and enable all of our clients to take advantage. And we've seen what Matt has been able to do at BYU Idaho, and there's such great potential. So we want to work with you to make sure that it suits your needs.
Terrific. Well, thanks, Dan. Again, thanks, Cath and Perez.